What's up? Joshua here, MVA studio. Let's turn off the jams. What the heck? What do we got for you today? Following up on yesterday's video, which was about the idea of trends and how you really can ignore being on trend more than people let on. This video is about the idea of influence. Thinking about the idea that in my own work, I went through all these different phases where I was super into some designers' work and I made stuff that was basically like they made it. So I'd see something and it would flip my wig. I'd be like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. Now I don't have that feeling at all. When I see work, I don't get influenced by it. I get inspired by it. Maybe I even get a little bit of a competitive edge out of certain work. So that's what this video is about. The energy level in this one's a little bit different. Maybe it's because it was dusk when I was recording it and I'm walking through my neighborhood. Whatever. I watched it last night and I feel good about it. So I hope that you dig it. Got a bunch of other videos coming up on workflow and process that I think are going to be really cool, but for now, enjoy this one. A recurring theme for me working as a designer throughout the early to late thousands was discovering some designer and having it completely screw up my head to where I thought like, this is what I should be doing. I can remember seeing Michael C. Place's, aka Build's website in 2005 and just being like, oh, this is what I should be doing. Or when the Yoko Land book came out, or a new David Carson book would come out. Maybe aesthetically I wasn't like quite feeling it as much as I did in 1999, but the attitude was very infectious. Daniel Eashock was another one. Experimental Jet Set was another one. Spin was another one. All of these designers and studios, I'd see their stuff and just be like, oh, that's what I should be doing. Nowadays, that's not a problem that I have at all. I'm trying to think of the last designer who's like had new stuff that I was really excited about. I think it was probably Hassan Rahim. And I did not have a reaction of, oh my God, I should do this. I was just like, this stuff is awesome. You know, and occasionally I might see a new website from some designer I like. Maybe I've liked for a long time and they updated their website. And I don't have that reaction at all. Like if Martin Vinesky finally comes out with a new book tomorrow, that is gonna have no bearing on my work whatsoever. I'm just gonna enjoy that Martin Vinesky book for what it is. When his first book came out in 2005 or 2004, whatever it was, I mean, that book flipped my lid and I seriously questioned everything I was doing. The big difference is that in 2002 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, I lacked confidence that making stuff that seemed unlike anything else was okay. And in addition, I didn't have a vision. Now, I actually think the idea of graphic designers in large part, when they talk about like how they have a vision, I think they're being kind of corny because ultimately you're this intermediary who's taking content and turning it into form. But more like I didn't even have a vision of how to work. And that's the thing that I have now. Because of that, you take the confidence and essentially process. So if I saw some new designer tomorrow whose work was amazing and maybe it was like in fields that I love, I wouldn't go, oh, like, man, I should try this. Or, you know, a good example is when I discovered Jan Sichol's new typography period, that like early 1920s stuff. I mean, that stuff totally was like a big influence on how I was working for a while. If I were to make another discovery like that tomorrow, let's say for whatever reason I've never seen Pete Zwart, and I discovered Pete Zwart stuff from the 30s or the 20s, all I'm going to do is be like, oh my God, this is awesome. It's not going to have any bearing on what I'm doing. It's not going to influence me. It's not going to change anything. And there's no new designer who's going to come along that's going to cause me to do anything different or change anything. That is because I finally have confidence in what I'm doing. And I understand how I'm supposed to be working in terms of my process, in terms of how one step feeds into the next. There's no void. And back in 2003 or 2004, when I might see something like a Yoko Land monograph or Kim Hiorthoy monograph, there was a void. So then when I saw that stuff, not only did it resonate because it was awesome, but I saw it as it amplified that void. If you're in a mode and you see a certain kind of work and you're like, oh my God, I should be doing that, the issue isn't that you're doing something wrong, and the issue isn't that you should be doing what you're seeing. The issue is there's a void in terms of understanding a process for yourself or a vision about how you should be working. And because of that, you see other people's stuff that's super inspiring, and then you actually want to do that stuff. But that's not your job. Your job is not to do other people's work. Your job is to do your work. And the problem is you haven't defined what that is. If when you see something, it's causing you to reevaluate what you're doing. All right. Well, I hope you dug that video. I'm going to add a challenge for you. I've owned up to the fact that I went through maybe a Martin Vinesky phase. I think I probably went through a David Carson phase. I may have gone through an Ed Fella phase. I went through a Tomato phase. I went through a entire history of Swiss graphic design phase. And I made at least one piece of design that I refer to as my bad non-format ripoff back in 2004. My question for you, for the comments, what cringe-worthy phase did you go through where instead of being inspired by somebody's work, you were recreating their work? Leave a comment.